Welcome back to our Marathon SpaceX Extreme series, where we are almost finished our final science that we're going to do prior to SpaceX Sciences. Now, there have been a couple of things that have happened that I've done to to exhaust the final bit of time, and that is I changed, as you can see from here, I changed the layout. So instead of having an intersection like we have down here, moving into here and then feeding the second science stack, I just have direct access. That seems to be a superior solution to me. The other thing was over here, some of the stuff I've talked about previously. I took down the iron mine here. As you can see, there's no residual. Wherever it was exactly, it's completely gone. This one here I've re-enabled because there are these little bits left, and I'd like to just let them tidy up. So one train sitting here slowly filling up. To do that is fine, and this one I moved from over here to the middle of here. I mean, we still have far too many mines serving it, but that's okay for now. Also down here, I was going to build two, but I moved this over because I'm probably going to need it over when I change the stacker to a full pre-stacker system here. But I moved this one block further over, and instead of putting two in, it's just down to a 2 platform at iron 13. Our once impressive, I forget exactly what this one was, but there's 34 million plus 5. It's only about 40 million now. I mean, that will last a while, but not too long. In fact, even our 457, named after the amount of iron in the mine, is down to 442, so it's 15 million down, and it's even made a little bit of a hole here. But we probably have too many rows here. We could probably manage with just 2 rows. But anyway, enough of that. So this episode, this is going to finish in almost no time. I think what we'll do is we'll actually connect this up because it's not calling trains just yet. There's no reason not to have this connected, and I'm going to put some normal rail signals down here so that we can have more than one train returning to fill up down this long path. I may only want one train up this way, but yeah, this is a little bit different. So down here though, we will need a chain signal. I don't know if that really helps, but I'll put one in. Let's do that on the other side. We are doing some science at the moment, aren't we? Yes, 6,000, very good. Now, my intention this episode will be to not only start SpaceX Science, but to demonstrate the effectiveness of our new stack to complete the first, there you go, to complete the first rung of science. So we want this up and running ASAP, so that these things here can start priming, basically, with their 8,000 science. So 8,000 science obviously is not. Yeah, I mean, the only unfortunate thing is this satellite thing is not going to keep ticking up anymore. 24,520. I mean, there's a couple of science that it will, but we might as well take that off for the moment. Let's bring out this. Well, we're not doing launches, so we'll come back to that. This one here, space science. So what is the... I think it's just space science, isn't it? Let us tell it, whoops, to get some space science. There you go. And over here, we just have to get the letters right. So P is yellow, That's P, so that's yellow science. Q is green. That's Q, so that will be green science. And R is red. That one's R, so it can be a red science. And there you go, we're getting our first space science to our yellow science coming in. So basically, once they've all had one delivery, we will be kicking off our first SpaceX research. Okay, so P is blue, that's a P. Blue. Purple is Q. And military is R. There are actually a couple of things that still need military science. And we need to rinse and repeat this exercise, but that's fine. So this is R, that's military. That one is Q, so that is purple, and that one is blue. Space science. And there's a military, first time we've used military for a while. Okay, so red is R, that's R for red. And Q is green, which means P is yellow. That's 2 stacks. 2 to go. For red, P for yellow, and Q for green. Now I don't know for sure, but it's certainly my hope that because these sciences take twice as long, except for the green and red, we'll have enough trains without changing the number of trains available. But we might have to tune this a little bit. We might have to tune this a little bit to we might have to tune this whole thing a little bit because what's the problem? Oh, they're probably all waiting. The numbers might have to be raised a little bit for when they call trains because they could be further away, something like that. That's what I guess I was trying to say. R is what? R. Oh, R's military, right. And purple and blue. It's the last stack. And you are space science, and over here for red, Q for green, of course, and P is yellow. Right, so once they've all had deliveries and there's no more waiting on something. Oh, that's not quite true. We actually need some trains now. Let's see if we have some trains. Because I want to increase the number of red and green trains by at least 2. So we'll do that, and part of this first science we'll be seeing if everything still works. And I really should get a walkway or something down the side of the science stack, because it's quite a long way back down here. Not that we necessarily need to traverse the whole thing. In fact, let's just make sure we can see it all by map view. There's a little bit here actually that a radar would help. So I will try and remember to do that. If we go back down to our supply station here, let's just see if it has. It does have trains and wagons, that's good. So I want 4 more. That will be 24 locomotives and 32 wagons. If they all fit. Looks like they do. Okay, excellent. So, the place to position these trains is your red, right? Red science, as long as nothing's coming in. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we copy from there to there, we can get rid of that one. That's one red science. It will actually have to do a complete lap before it fills up on science, so it will be sent to somebody who's expecting it to actually have a load. I think this is green science. It actually doesn't matter 100%, as long as there's still demand for the science. Let me just make sure I did actually put it in the right station. I did. And we need to find a green science train. Oh, this is not quite right, because it should have been called. Okay, let's back you up slightly. And excellent. Now it's being called through. So what that's going to mean is it will go somewhere that's wanting red science. It won't be able to deliver it, but it will go and fill up. So it's now in action. Now this one needs green science, so we just need to find somewhere that has green science. Unloading, which that might actually be there loading up, in fact. There we go. So that's where we want to be. But we'll have to do the same thing. Just back up slightly. Head to green science wait, and that will send it round to start again. Let me get another red science train. We'll grab a copy of this one. Take that one off. Back up. Head to the wait, and hopefully that will tell it to go. And we need one more green science train, and actually I'll get rid of those. It's green science wait, very good. Oops, no. Get rid of that. Manual. Science weight, go there. And get the 9 of those out of there. Right. Let's just see if that's worked. So basically, what I want to do is wait until there is no requests, no outstanding requests anywhere. That one's probably purple. Purple's probably having the hardest job supplying everybody. That one looks fine. This one is waiting on purple. This one is waiting on purple as well. It has purple, but it doesn't have 8,000 purple. Why are you still loading up on space science? Okay, there's a problem in there. I don't need 100 and whatever it was, 1,000 space science in one station. It's not that one. This one here is hogging far too much space science, so there must be a disconnect. Why did you order so many space science? P is -6. Unless one of our subscriptions is set up wrong. Not subscriptions, sorry. Publishers. Science. Not sure. That one has space science. That is everything except purple. Now that it's getting yellow. This one is still waiting on lots of things. Let me see what the requests are. Hard to tell from that. That's still missing quite a bit in the top one. Alright, let's just make sure that we don't get any more space science in the wrong one. It probably means we're still launching a bunch of satellites. How are things going? What does our numbers look like? These are only at 6,000 at the moment. Yellow science at 5,000. Do you have enough robots? Looks like it. Yeah, because of the pre-buffering, it's going to take a while for this to filter through and get up to the 12,000 that it's capable of, and likewise with the red. So how is purple doing? Purple is almost about to supply another. So this one is waiting on purple. Wonder who's going to get purple science first. Be the Science East stat. Yeah, it's Science East predominantly. Let's take that off for the moment. Purple science. Should be getting very close to leaving. So how many need purple science? 1. 2, 3, 4. That needs a few sciences. 5, including purple, and 6. Oh, no path. That could be making things difficult. That was part of why we did this exercise. Why do you have no path? Alright, we better go and find out what's causing that problem. Because that's certainly not helping us. That's part of why we needed to do this exercise. It's probably going to be too late if I go and get some concrete so I can build a path for myself up here, speaking of paths. But maybe I should. It certainly would have saved a little bit of time. So what is your problem, dude? Where are you trying to get to? Blue science load. And you can't because of what? I don't know. Right. Let's jump on board, let's go manual and just see what the story is. Maybe it's because these are not at the same location. So it's confused. Oh, no, it's not that. It's here. Go. There we go. Grab a ride on the way back down. Any other issues? What about you? Oh, you're just producing yellow science for there. Have we sorted out purple? That one's sorted. That one's sorted. That one is sorted. That one still needs purple because it's below 8,000. And then all these top ones need purple. Well, I might just pause here while I let purple catch up. Purple and whatever other sciences still haven't flowed through up there. I'll rejoin you when the stacks are done and we're ready to kick off our first SpaceX science. See you soon. And back, but not quite ready to start. There's still a couple of purple sciences to go, but I have realized I've made a little boo-boo, so to speak, with regard these new trains. I forgot that I've actually closed off these trains so that they don't fill up completely, but the new ones, yeah, well, they're filling up completely to 64,000 rather than just 16,000, so we need to do something about that. This train has 16,000. Oh, this train's fine. That must have been one of the old ones. This one here is 16,000. Oh, that's fine too. But these red trains, on the other hand, 64,000, yeah. Oops, don't do that. So that's better. Whoops. Well, whichever station gets that load is not going to need to be topped up for a while. And what about this one? 16,000, so that's fine. So the other two are probably, well, the other red and the two greens are probably waiting in our wait stop, our wait station. So let's sort them out, then check where purple is, and maybe we will finally get to kick off the final science. I'm hoping I can finish that final science in this episode. Well, final science. The first science of the marathon tech priced SpaceX Extreme. So, how many do you have? You have 64k as well. Let's not do that. That's better. You're fine. And we actually have a green train here that's going nowhere. Okay. And this one has 64k, of course. Whoopsie. Alright, so how are we now doing with our purple science? You have purple. You have purple. You don't. And you don't. You don't have space science yet either. So yeah, the space science is having to keep going. But I guess while we wait on the purple, and this last bit of space, we don't need space science for the first science. Actually, what do we need for the first science? Oh, and that's another thing that we were going to look at, right? Was it becomes 3.8 million if we were to do another level. We're not going to. So we need purple, so I definitely need to wait for purple. I don't need to wait for the space science, but I do need to wait for purple to get through everywhere. There's only one of the preliminary sciences that uses space science, and then the FTL science. So our satellite, well, they won't be, those ones will be doing satellite launches, but a bunch of our other launches won't be. So this will be a bit quiet for a while. Let's see, are we any closer? Whoops, do we have, how far away is purple? 15k, that one's almost there. I'll take another pause, and next time I promise we'll be ready to go. See you soon. And back, and I believe we now finally have purple science in every single science stack. There you go, 16k, because that's how much each of the trains deliver. And it is time. It is time to do the first one. 192,000 2-minute science. Let's go. Space assembly. So what space assembly allows us to do is it lets us build these assembly robots, but you'll notice it needs efficiency module 3s. So even when the science is done, we are going to need efficiency module 3s built before we can start building these robots. And typically it's these robots that hold us up on the next phase of SpaceX, because, you know, that's kind of expensive. It also allows us access to space construction. Space construction allows us to do the next two components, which are these two components. So we actually have to do two sciences before we can start doing those components. Let's take a look at our consumption, our science consumption numbers. They should be getting pretty high. They should actually, all of these should be running. Why aren't these? Oh, there's no bots in here. I started this too soon. We need bots. We need them badly. Just as well, I am here. We are only getting half our science happening at the moment. That is no good. I better clear some space so I can move these bots around. Very dumb. We're not going to need that or that. Or most of this stuff actually. All we are doing is moving bots around. Right, let's go. So I'm going to assume these guys can basically cope with half the number of bots that they previously had. So let's grab all of those, and we could probably take a little bit... Whoops. Auto trash. Let's not trash bots, thanks. I actually want those bots. Do you have bots in your trash now? No, good. How many have you got now? That's far too few. How many have I got? 100, 200, 300. Yeah, that should be fine. So, yes, a slightly inauspicious start, but at least it's obvious what the cause was. You need bots. Who would have thought? Okay. Now, there's probably a much more efficient way of doing this rather than running up and down constantly, but I'm kind of thinking I'll just take half of each stack's bots because of that bot capacity research we did for UPS reasons. We should be able to... So how many have you got? 634, so... 335. Maybe I'll take half of those as well. There you go. Manage on 300 bots, you probably can. And let's get the 6 stack running. Just 2 more of these to go, and then we'll make sure that we are doing the numbers we should be. How many bots have you got? Looks like further up I go, the less bots they have. Let's take out 250 then. That'll be fine. I'll check out how these stacks are doing as we go, just to make sure that it is fine, but I'm fairly sure it probably will be. So we didn't quite get everything starting at once, but never mind, and sorry for the length of the episode. There's always teething issues. If I'd carefully planned exactly everything I needed to do, maybe I could have avoided some of them, but Never mind, that's part of the fun of it. So how many have you got? 585, 236, that's probably, we've gone too far. 285, we've got 1, 2, 3 there, that should be fine. We actually could probably remove some more bots, but there's no harm in having slightly more just sitting idle, I think. I don't think it costs anything if they're just sitting in a RoboPort fully charged. I could be wrong. So away you go, guys. Let's get going. There we go. Now, if we look at consumption stats now, what have we got? 11,000 per minute. You should get to 12,000 per minute. Of course, if it's 11, there you go, 12,000 per minute, even if it was just briefly. If it's 11,9999, it will still show as 11, so it's hard for it to get to 12. These other ones should be all at, well, blue and purple should be at 6. And they are. So now we finally have our science moving ahead at a decent rate. It could take a moment or two before these have to fully charge up to the level that they need to go. We still have a little bit of military science. Certainly having the factory wasn't designed with the expectation that all 7 science, so including military science and space science, would all run simultaneously all the time, because that's not really required for the things that we do. So we are stressing our steel supply, which will stress our ability to keep supplying purple. But now, as you can see, this is moving at a not too terrible rate on the space assembly. So that gives us, well, it's not going to just go zap, of course, because 192,000 2-minute science doesn't move that quickly, does it? But how are our trains coping? One of the blue and one of the purple, actually both of the purple science have already been called. I wonder how we are doing up here in terms of purple science holding out 16k, and here we have 10k, down here 9.3, 8.5, so it's going to be asking for more purple up there very soon. Some of these others are doing fine. Yeah, the others seem to be doing fairly well. So purple science will continue to get hammered. I guess that's to be expected. So what else is going on? Well, I did notice that we are now seriously starting to struggle here. 145, 24, 152 and 56, 1.6 million if we move this. So we are going to need to move this sort of more or less immediately, but I don't like the idea that there's at least 3 trains queuing here. So what I'm going to do is run back, get my stuff, which has the blueprints, and I'm going to turn on one of the pseudo outposts to redivert or divert some of the traffic from that, or so that that Iron Stack 1 can keep running at full capacity. So you'll get to see that in motion immediately. And golly gee, we do need paths down the side here. Not that I should need to keep running up and down, but we did need to do it often enough. Okay, so yeah, we just can pick up this stuff. And that is the iron. So if I go back to map mode, zoom way out, here is iron 28. Now if everything goes according to plan, I should just be able to drop that down. That's iron 29, right? Yeah, iron 29. So the bots here should lay that down, and then I should be able to lay down some blueprints. Which I guess we could start. Actually, I was going to do a single row on both sides, I think. That has a double row. So what I might have to do is find somewhere else that has a single row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's basically that. Or maybe I just want that. Let's just hurry up and do it. Let's grab that. Whoops. Iron 29. Okay, so I basically want 8 of these, don't I? So that's 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. And we will put the same up there. I've got 50 bots down there. From my exercise, I probably should have put them into whichever location had the least. So that should enable this outpost, so that's 29. We need to redirect trains now from here. The only ones I can really do are the ones that are already here, starting to fill up. Start with you. Instead of iron 9, go to iron 29 until inventory full. It's 1. And this guy will be the second one to do that. Iron 29 until inventory full. 2. Now, because these are much further, it is possible we might actually have to up the number of trains that head to them. Let's just type an iron up there. Iron 29. 3. I think there's another one waiting. We'll clear that as well. And obviously we're going to have to head up here and sort this out. Oops, can't type straight. Inventory full. How many did I send up there in the end? 4. Okay, that's good. And how many are still at iron 9? 2. That's fine. So what we can do now is probably go to iron 9. Is it sitting in here? And I don't actually need all of this stuff here. That. Hashtag iron 9, can't see it. Let's go. So what we'll do is we'll just do a move of the where the platform is, so that we can harvest this part. I guess I'll probably just move it up. We have the most. What's that? 150, 56, 144. Yeah, there's slightly more above, so we'll move it up, and it's also easier so that we can access that and deal with it that way. How are we doing up here? We're filling up. Just make sure that you can depart. We have any other? No, we just have some. Here's another one of those ones that we directed up this way. How's the bot supply doing? Fine. And excuse me. Are you sure you what? No, back, resume, not restart. So there you go. Sorry about that. Just a fairly important phone call. It does happen, but as you can see, you missed absolutely nothing. Although maybe you wanted to miss something. I mean, I'm partly running this episode just to show you how long the space science takes to get through. Let's see if what's the average. So it's, well, 1 minute it's sort of sometimes only 10 over 10 minutes. I guess we haven't been running for 10 minutes yet, so it was building up to the totals. And if these occasionally flick to 5.9, it's going to be hard for these to stay at 12, but there you have it. And obviously these ones will take a little bit of time to warm up, to need to since we effectively buffered them. What's happened to purple science again? So, I mean, the fact that we buffered military science and all the space science has drained the steel, so I did notice that we were having some issues with getting enough steel to everything. And you can see, I mean, these rocket launches have kept on going because it's trying to reload all of the in fact we're down to the last one, but yeah, it's trying to reload all of these, so it's continuing to burn up all of the steel that it needs for the rocket launches to supply space science, but it should shortly stop demanding so much, although these will restock to their desired levels, which of course, what's this one? That's the LDS, of course, is the one, because it needs steel, that is struggling a little bit to keep up with the extra demand. I wonder if actually the military science has fully rebuffered itself. It looks like, well, I don't actually know why these are still 4,000. That's probably a little high. I could probably cut that back, but yeah, it does look like, well, there's still a few of the military science machines running. Yeah, it's still running, basically. So here we are. What we need to do, basically, is... well, we're going to have to wait for both of these to clear off, actually. This one here is probably pointless at this point. The stuff that was out there has since cleared away. Where is this? There it is. Turn it around. So, I mean, ideally it would come in about there, I guess. Actually, instead of using that, maybe I will copy all of this. Maybe I'll copy it in 2 bits so I don't copy all the junk in between. So we can copy sort of to about there. Copy that bit as part 1. And then just copy the lane swapping part. Like so, as part 2. Now we basically just want these guys to be full and depart, because I only have 2 coming in here, so once they both go, oh, actually what we can do, we actually want to empty these, so this is 15k, which one is missing some? That one's missing some. The rest of it, not so much. Doesn't matter. Alright, you can just go. You're also at 15k, might as well just send it away. There's probably a bit more in there than I really want, but never mind. Let's get rid of that. It's going to break all of these things, but that's fine too. Where's 1? 1 is here. Place 1. If I rip out these now, and these ones, and these ones, these ones. Down to about there. Put in 2. There we go. And now this is going to need to be repowered, but that's alright, we can sort that out in a moment. You don't have any power, that's not good. You need power. Get rid of this bit. Whoops, not that far. Just make sure that these are fine. Yep, and we're actually getting a train arriving already. So now we just want to cover two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now all this stuff that's just junk. No good reason for that to be there. Are there really no speed modules stored anywhere here? Wow. I guess they have been cycling them out of the system, which is not great. We might have to just ask for a few more from here. Don't need those, but I would like to have, say, not that many, 30 speed modules, just to cover cover the items that are a little bit without. I don't think we need this one. Let's put one up here though. Okay, you're not powered. Let's get some power. These stranded ones don't need any. You're powered somehow. Powered from down below, okay. And up here, yes, we do need those guys. We just need those speed modules and we'll be done. And you'll notice that we're now over 50% of space assembly. Let me just see where the supply train is up to. Oh, have I broken supply again? I may have actually broken it again. Yep, I have broken it again. Okay, I'm just going to run back to base and get these speed modules sorted out, because we definitely don't have them in there, and clear out a bunch of extra stuff that I've picked up. What else do I have that I don't need? Probably beacons. We're chockers with stuff we have picked up. Alright, I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Return to base. Let's go to engineering unload. We will personally grab, say, 30 speed modules. I kind of don't want to interrupt, and pause and sort this thing out, just so we get some idea of how long these sciences take, even though this is a super long episode. Are we almost done here? Yeah, it's just stocking back up to when it gets up to about 80,000 or whatever I set it to here, it will close off and stop launching. But that could be 25, no, it won't be 25,000. It'll be under that, since we're not going to be using space science for a little while, and they're all lined up here anyway. How are these guys going? Are we still doing our 11, 12,000? Close enough. What about over 10 minutes? Yep, 12,000 now. 12,000 science per minute, over 10 minutes. It won't be over an hour, of course, but that's not too bad. Right. Yes, bring us. We've got them. Good. We'll need to restock at some point, but we don't need to do it immediately. We can just head straight back. At least we have space for things now. Oh, and these guys, I'm not going to keep them. So let's do a bit of inventory tidy. So what else do we have to do? Okay, when this science is in, obviously we need to set up the efficiency modules. I'll get there in the end. But there's other things that I want to do as well. I still want to keep working on our drive for UPS, because any UPS saved ultimately will help. And for example, oil, you'll understand now why we have, because like one of these aren't even modules or beaconed, and they don't need to be, because these are not actually running at their full speed, and this is chocker. I mean, it's partly because it's quite a rich field and there's quite a few of them, but the only way I could let this fill up faster really would be to just direct feed, have dedicated direct feeding into each tank, but then flowing back to the train would be a bit of an issue. So maybe that's not the way to do it. Anyway, not to worry, let us finish off our updates here with these modules. That's it. Let us kill the open request here. off. Good. I think we can probably leave this now. It won't. I mean, there's still far too many robots actually. We can get them when we need to later. What I really wanted to see was an oil train, because I'm thinking that we can actually do away with some of these oil stops and just move the trains onto this one that is so full. But I think all of them are probably somewhat like that. Like these are, as you can see, I mean, no speed modules, no beacons, just productivity research. These things are basically filling pipes by themselves. And that's only that's 5,000 facility. It's not even that good. So efficiency modules. I don't think I actually need these stops anymore. So I could probably build it out here somewhere. I do need that refueling. I was originally going to come down here, which we could still do because this is going to go away. Here you go. We've lost some of this in our... But this is a fairly weak station, which you can see even a weak one, if we put modules in it, would like modules by themselves would just about fill this up. But there's kind of... Well, that train's about to depart. This one actually probably could handle modules and beacons, but instead of that I'll probably just get rid of it. And divert the train so it doesn't have to do this journey through all of the potential congestion here. Instead it will just make the relatively more pleasant journey up this way. There you go, there's a train heading to the oil now. Is there one up there already? I'm pretty sure that it's close to an instant fill. One of the reasons I didn't was because I was obviously going up past this. So there's one of the reasons I didn't put more to this one originally. We're going up past it to do the solar, but now that we have our 1.1 million solar, we don't really need to do that. So it wouldn't matter if we have a few oil trains lining up here, as long as they fill more or less as quickly as they can and are back on their way. And then the path here never interferes with the 4 lane, it just comes along here, they go along here, down here and up here. Although this one is trying to get out and round, we need a radar in there. It should be relatively easy for that one to come out and then down here. Oh, that one, actually, where is this one going? It's going to oil, oil 9. Is that what this one's called? Oil 9, yes, it is trying to get up there. It should be able to get out without this one moving, but maybe it's just being dumb. But yes, that's one of the things, and that also means that down here I've got oil 4 and 5, but I also have this oil out here. I probably don't need this oil, and obviously this reduces the amount of pipes and things that we have by cutting out these oil outposts. So that's something else that I could have done for my UPS. And we need to consider that because obviously adding in efficiency modules, which will be another stack, basically this copy of this, and then all the recipes changed so that they are the efficiency module rather than the productivity module. And I obviously don't want it down here because we have got too much stuff down here already. So that's why I was considering originally somewhere along here. We could move this out of the way again, and maybe that's what we'll do, and then just have it come down here and feed off into the efficiency module. Maybe landfill up this whole thing. We're very close to this being done. Okay, so what we need to do is get back on board the train. Let's go to engineering unload. I think we've done enough to sort out iron. What iron was it? Iron 9. The other iron we can look at is the one here, 9.6 million. So it's still got a little bit of life in it still. We may as well let it exhaust, because obviously when it's done we will do this sort of thing to it, get rid of these bits. 2 million in this mine, so this one isn't too much longer. Actually it looks like we are missing a little bit just there. Let's do that, and then that will sort out that little bit. I could actually sort out that one as well. Assuming that I can actually get power to it. There you go. So that's that one done. Where are we? We are at unload. I guess the best thing for us is to set ourselves up with a fresh generic sort of rail install, so that we can look at building efficiency modules, which I guess will be top of the billing for next episode. Space assembly, you're almost done. I think we're running out of time though, so maybe it's not worth waiting it out. 10 minute, 12,000, 6,000. Purple is not running at that level yet though. In production, are we still launching? I think so. Yeah, 4.8. Yeah, we'll still be launching for a while. Purple science is yeah, absent, and here, yeah, we're still struggling with our steel shortage overall in the factory. So an update also to this to extend the capability of steel, and probably here to push more iron through the stack is necessary as well. I wish I knew exactly how many minutes that was. I did say I was going to wait for the first science to completely complete, so I guess we will do that. We're not that far off. 192,000 science. What is the next one? 384. So we won't be doing that in a single. Well, starting from the beginning, maybe it's possible, but no, I'm not planning on trying to do that. We'll return to normal length episodes for that one, and then the next science that we choose, we'll try and choose something that doesn't have purple. There are numerous examples here, like maybe that one. How's this going? Seems to be going fine. What about up here? Um, 1.8. Thanks, autosave. 5.4. Down to just the 2, it looks like. So yes, that's really crawling now as far as filling a train goes, but that's alright. And this one, of course, has far too many miners, but that will slowly resolve itself. Where are we? We're down here. So, probably if I head to hashtag GC1, that would put me in a good position to work out, or to run around here, or hashtag copper7 and clear out this one altogether, which we should have done ages ago. That's actually a good idea. We'll use the rubbish train to move it all. We probably don't have it. There you go, hashtag copper7 for circuit condition. Let's go. Let's clear out that, yeah, this carry on because it's in the way. For now, I will probably leave oil 2. We'll deal with that later. I just want to get rid of most of this. This would be a good place to do landfill from. So I might leave one station and change it to a landfill station. There certainly are no copper trains coming in here, no, so all this infrastructure is just costing us for no good reason. So let's get rid of it. How is this coal doing? This coal is doing very badly. Very, very badly. We're going to have to go and address this as well. Why can you not get out? Oh, you're trying to head away. That's interesting. Oh, because military science kicked off and it uses coal, of course. So that's probably mucked that up a little bit as well. Very little time left, guys. Very little time left on that first SpaceX science. Just showing how good our science machine is. As long as steel recovers. Yeah, there's no steel sitting there. Nah. Okay, let's jump out. What I might try and do actually is drop my bots. Now, do you have about 24 construction bots, so that's good. Let's see if they're up to the task of getting rid of this stuff. They'll probably be a little bit slow, but that's okay. And they're going straight down here. I like the look of that. Grab this one, guys. Good, good. Don't really need that one either. Alright. I guess we'll leave this one here so that the bots can connect to the rubbish train fairly easily. It looks like that can connect from there, so there's no need for all of that. 24 bots do take their time to do these things though. Let's get rid of all of that. And all of that. I knew there was this tiny bit of copper, but we're not going to turn this on again just to utilize that. Right, this whole line, actually I don't need that robo port up there either, or this one down here. That gets rid of all of that. Do the same on this side. And there you have it. The first SpaceX science has done. See, they're really not that bad at all, guys. I'm going to leave you here. We've gone over time. Well, let's get the next one going, though. We don't want to be delaying. 384,000. We're not going to wait for it. We may not finish it next turn either, or next episode. Not to worry. Thanks for joining me for this, and yeah, we'll go back to normal length episodes from now on. See you guys later. Bye bye for now.